The luckiest people who survived the impossible. Let's get into the video.
Number 1. A rod across the brain. Phineas Gage in 1848. Brain injuries are usually fatal because it's the master of our body and controls every action and process such as breathing, blood pressure, heartbeat, etc.
And that is why you need to wear a helmet whenever you're riding a bicycle. I know it's not really got anything to do with the video, but I always see people riding scooters and bicycles without helmets. Unless you want to fall over and literally be left paralyzed in a wheelchair for the rest of your life, wear a helmet.
So do you think anyone can survive being directly impaled across the brain? Probably not. Well, think twice, because here's our first survivor who withstood the direct blow to his brain by a 3.5-foot and 13-pound rod in 1848. He was not an X-Men like Wolverine with super healing power, but an ordinary railroad worker named Phineas Gage.
Well, that Phineas guy seems to be very lucky. Impaled is whenever something goes through your head, isn't it? That would literally kill the normal person. Like, how is this man not dead? I'm telling you, people born hundreds of years ago were superhuman. Apparently there used to be like giants, like we used to be so much bigger. To be fair, the Egyptians did build the temples. That just wouldn't happen now, like it wouldn't be possible.
He was just 25 years old when an iron rod pierced his skull and left with part of his brain. Amazingly, he survived for the next 12 years with seizures, drooping eyelid, cognitive problems, and dramatic emotions.
The thing is, if that happened now, he probably would be able to survive for a lot longer. It's crazy how back in the day, if you literally had a blue finger, they'd just cut the finger off. They wouldn't give you antibiotics or anything like that. Medicine in the old days was so sketchy. Like, it literally wasn't medicine. It made the things worse. I kind of feel bad for him because, like, he is dead and he's been dead for like 100 and something years. If he was alive now, he probably still would have survived.
He is one of the most popular subjects for medical researchers to this day. That's gotta hurt.
Did I actually know how he survived? Like, he literally had something go through his head. That doesn't seem like something a normal person would be able to survive.
Number 2. Forced into a very small hole. Yes, you heard that right. It sounds bizarre, but it is a very painful reality. In 2008, a welder, Matthew Lowe, got caught in the metal transportation machine in his factory. He was forced into a hole with a 5-inch opening along the conveyor. After some long screams and bone-crushing sounds, the machine spat Matthew out with broken and crushed bones, ribs, pelvis, back, and his bowel and stomach were ruptured.
I don't want to hear that. I literally think I'm about to be sick. Whenever I hear gruesome things like that, it makes me feel so weird. So you're telling me he fell into like a 5-inch hole and got messed up. How did the poor man survive?
It's a very sad and painful story. But here comes the twist. He miraculously survived after 6 major operations and many metal plates all over his body. Our 20-year-old survivor survived and is still working in the same factory.
So he's still working to this day. Hello, is he a superhuman? I swear all these people are superhumans. I want to actually know what happened to him. Like, obviously he fell into something and got spat out. Like, what was he working at? Surely he should warn other people in the future. I mean, he's still working to this day, which is kind of scary. If I were him, I'd never leave my house.
Number 3. Falling on the nozzle of an air hose. Well, you may find it funny, but it isn't a joke, but a very serious accident. It happened when, again, a factory worker named Stephen McCormick in New Zealand fell on an air hose with his butt.
Basically, what I'm learning from this video is not to work in the construction industry. 2 of these people have got seriously injured. It's kind of scary to think that, like, every single job is dangerous. Lorry drivers could crash the lorry. Somebody in Tesco's could get stabbed or, like, have something fall on them. A pilot could crash the plane. This world is so dangerous.
People got scared and he screamed loudly as the air hose penetrated his butt and teared apart his skin and muscles. Due to the high pressure, his body expands twice the normal body size, just like the expanded body of cartoon-like Tom and Jerry. Doctors couldn't treat him immediately, so they waited for deflation of the body very loudly, just like a long fart. McCormick survived this funny but nearly fatal accident.
Wait, so you're telling me he fell in the air hose, basically got blown up like a balloon and farted all the extra gas out? I kind of feel bad for his doctors because they were probably mortified but also really amused. Imagine somebody sat there farting for a long 10 minutes. I don't know if I would laugh or cry.
But he did survive the impossible and defeated death with his luck and willingness to be alive. That's why they say never lose hope.
I kind of want to know how he survived. Like, did he pray the day beforehand? Like, I mean, if he prayed to God beforehand, maybe I should start praying to God. Maybe God will save me someday.
Caught in the updraft and attacked by a hailstorm. In this incident, Ewa Winiarski, a paraglider, got caught in the storm clouds above her in 2007. She was forced by the upwind at 70 feet per second to 30,000 feet above sea level. Now, you might think that this is an adventure survival story. story. And this time you are right, because she was brushed by tennis ball-sized hail and frozen.
Hello, you're telling me she was frozen? Was she alive? Was she dead? Was she just like lying on the ground? Whenever I think of somebody being frozen, I usually think of them being put into a big ice cube and like kept there and preserved. In her case, she was probably just lying on the ground completely numb. I have heard of cases about people years ago who got frozen and then apparently were alive for a really long time. Like, I swear you can freeze somebody and then bring them back to life.
She was dragged 40 miles away before she landed. Ewa Winiarski passed out during most of the flight, but fortunately became conscious just before landing and successfully landed on a farm. With some minor injuries due to frostbite, she survived to share her story with others.
Wait a minute, you're telling me she was up in the sky? Did I listen to that correctly? I thought they said that she was like flying in a plane. Did she get sucked up into the sky? Oh my god, I'm sorry, I completely heard that wrong. I think I've got it right now, that she was sucked up into the sky and then fell to the ground. Well, I mean, if she fell to the ground, how did she survive?
Number 5. Fallen out of the sky. We as humans have an inversely proportional relationship with gravity. Remember Newton and the falling apple? Or singer Katy Perry and a giant cake? I sure remember that one. Gravity is something that keeps us grounded, but it's also ass in the neck when you fall out of a chair, stairs, bike, or in this case, from the sky.
Yeah, because if you fall from the sky, you're definitely gonna survive. I wonder if it was like a parachute thing gone wrong. What's that thing where people go up into the sky and like jump out and like get a big parachute and hit the ground? Is it called skydiving? I think it's called that. Everyone I know wants to go skydiving, but I'd never be able to do it. Imagine jumping out of a plane. Like, I literally can't look over a balcony without getting scared. I'm telling you, people have balls and I don't have them balls.
This is the story of a man, Michael Holmes, who fell from the sky in 2009 when he, as a skydiving instructor, found himself stuck in a serious situation when both his main and one backup parachute fails. He fell a whopping 70 miles from the sky, but luckily he landed on the blackberry bushes, sustaining a collapsed lung and one broken ankle.
Oh yeah, because that's good. He literally had a collapsed lung and a broken ankle. I mean, at least he survived. I wonder if the bush actually like stopped him from getting injured. If you did have an accident whenever like parachuting and you're falling towards the ground, where would you land? I'd say the majority of people would land in water, but that's actually not a good idea. Apparently if you land in water, it can be like the same as landing in concrete. I mean, if the parachute was faulty and I was kind of gliding, I'd probably try to glide into a tree. Like, imagine you just glide into a tree and hold on to it. Actually, that's probably not a good thing to do because you probably break your arm.
It's very hard to believe, but the next time when you think of skydiving, remember to land on bushes in case your parachute disabled.
Well, I mean, if I ever went parachuting and was plummeting towards the ground, I wouldn't think about landing in bushes. I'd be thinking about death. It's actually quite scary because it could happen so easily. Like, if you're ever in a plane, a helicopter, just anything, you could easily crash. This video's gonna create so many new phobias for me, and you guys know what I'm like whenever it comes to phobias.
If those weren't crazy enough, here are some honorable mentions. The man who withstands 20 shots. Yes, he was neither Superman nor Deadpool, but just an ordinary human just like me and you. In the summer of 1995, Kenny Vaughn was attacked by his unpleased neighbor with 20 shots of a .22 caliber rifle.
So basically somebody attempted to murder him. Hello, is that not like illegal? That person should be put into jail. I mean, he did get shot 20 times. I wonder if the bullets actually penetrated his skin or if he was wearing like a bulletproof vest. I'm telling you, Americans are obsessed with their guns and that's why there's so many shootings.
His abdomen was ruptured and he fainted due to excess internal and external bleeding. According to our survival hero, after the shot, he continuously told himself that he wouldn't close his eyes. If he did so, he would be dead.
I've actually heard that that's what a lot of people say whenever they get into an accident. The best thing to do is try to stay awake and as conscious for as long as possible. Because think of it, if you literally pass out, that's probably you dead. If you put up a fight, all your adrenaline will kick in and hopefully you'll survive. It's actually kind of scary because like imagine if you get caught up in an incident and you like just like give up. That's literally your life over.
He is a survival legend because withstanding 20 shots of a .22 caliber rifle is no joke.
And that is exactly why guns need to get banned in America, because if people weren't able to get their hands in guns, that wouldn't happen. Him and the neighbor literally got into an argument and he ended up getting shot 20 times. Hello, that's not normal behavior.
The man who was cut in half by a train. This is a serious one. American railroad worker Truman Duncan was cut down into 2 pieces after he accidentally fell on the railroad track. In the 45-minute rescue process, he was conscious and able to make a call to his wife. Doctors believe that he survived such a terrible accident only due to his will to survive.
So you're telling me this man literally lost his legs and he didn't pass out? Wow, he is a fighter. I couldn't even imagine that happened to me. Like, I remember one time whenever I was younger, I like fell off my chin-up bar and I actually thought I was gonna die. Imagine losing your legs. Like, he must have been in such a weird, dizzy mood. You wouldn't know what to do, would you? Anyways, guys, that was some of the luckiest people who survived the impossible. I don't know how all these people survived. Imagine falling from a plane, getting cut in half, getting frozen. This world is a scary place, isn't it? Anyways, hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, press that big red subscribe button. And yes, I will see you all in my next video.